Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Kageboushi. Kageboushi? Something like that. Last time we got some Madoka POV, some Manai bad story, how their father died, kind of. I don't know if that should come back. You're telling me it was Tokyo? Probably not, but it would be kind of funny. Um, but yeah, they were heading to meet Oishi and Akasaka for their meetup, so think we'll start there. But yeah, let's just get started. Angel Mort. Is it? On the same day, Takuchi City. It is Angel Mort. Better be. This is a different CG, man. Look at that. Or background, I should say. After downing the remaining of her now lukewarm coffee, Chief Inspector Minaya looks up at me from across the table. This is Atosaka, POV. Her brow seems furrowed. No, it definitely was, but since I knew why, I pretended not to see it.
本来なら一番近隣にあたる沖宮から捜査を行うのがベストなんですが、現状では
I forgot Akasaka has huge pauses. We gotta get used to that again. Man pauses like crazy. Man's like, and then I did it. A couple of days after Wishi and I met up, we visited Okonomi in order to conduct our investigation. Unfortunately, Otonomi was still in a state of disarray in the wake of the disaster, so it was impossible for us to obtain any accurate information, much less anything related to our investigation. Conversely, all we received was an ardent opposition from those we questioned. Not only was it the locals, but all of the disaster relief workers we encountered treated us with disdain, which further complicated our work. So after consulting with Oishi-san, we decided to refocus our efforts onto Kakuchi City.
しかし、どうして県境を越えてこの書き写しを？別に難癖を申し上げるつもりはありませんが、獅子骨市近隣の町村は他にもあったはずです。
いっぱいありました。ただその中でも書き写しは5年前の建設騒動以来、ひなみ沢から転居する家族が他と比べても一番多かったんですよ。しかもこの町は見たところ他県だけあって例の大災害に対する関心が全体的に低い感じがします。
それがどういう？
つまりですね、この町のように安定した都市部に住んでいる人たちなら、
Fair enough.
比べても理性的な応対が望めるかと考えたのです。タタリに対する畏怖心が強いと、どうしても情報提供に二の足を踏んでしまいますからね。
はあ、そういうものなんですか。
それにもしもこの災害の背後で組織だった政治的陰謀が本当に動いているとすれば、厳重な情報封鎖と観光令が敷かれている可能性があります。
I mean, true.
だとすれば、いずれこの町にもその影響が及んで捜査がやりにくくなるかもしれない。ですから、一刻も早く。
すみません。お気を悪くされるかもしれませんが。
With a tilt of her head, Chief Inspector Manai carefully pondered her words before speaking again. And obviously, Tomoe's not like super into the Hinamizawa stuff like last arc. Because last arc she was into it because of how Oishi died. Like on the night when they just talked. So that's why she's invested. But without Oishi's death, I guess she never went in hard like she did last arc.
自分は刑事課の人間なので、公安の方の特に政治レベルの捜査をお手伝いするのは筋が違うかと思います。そもそも話が大きすぎていきなり理解するのはいささか。
そうですね。
それに自分の職務は犯罪事件を捜査することであって、 犯罪自体の存在の有無を確かめることではありません。その点はどうかご理解ください。
失礼しました。つい気持ちがせいてしまって。
I'd gotten a little carried away and taken us off topic, so I cleared my throat while trying to pull myself together. Chief Inspector Manai's opinions weren't conservative, but reasonable. Just because I distrust the possibility of conspiracy surrounding the gas disaster in another town doesn't mean that they can follow up on it, especially when they don't even work in that prefecture. No, what we want to ask her is something else altogether.
ともいちゃんには少し前に看護師衝殺事件の件でご協力お願いしましたよね。あの件について何かわかりましたか？
ええ、少しは。それが
今回の一件はそれとも大きく関わっているんですよ。4年前からひなみ沢村ではお社様のたたりと言われる殺人
Crispy
事件が
Tatana.
毎年起きているんですよ。
One day, guys, one day Tatana will return.
その一連だと私は睨んでいます。
I'm praying for that day, man.
そしてあのたたりの数日後に大災害が起こって村人全員が亡くなった。
警部が立ち会われた事件と私たちが調べようとしているお社様のたたりによる大災害、偶然にしては時系列が並びすぎている。
Doesn't Owishi's hair kind of look like Madoka's? Like just this part? The helmet part plus the 3 strands? Just put like blonde hair here, and then she's Madoka? Madoka hair?
ですからこの2つの件では共同で捜査を行う方がお互いにとっていろいろと都合がいいかと思います。
なるほど。
Chief Inspector Manai laced her fingers and pressed them against her chin in contemplation. Then, while gazing at her now empty coffee cup, she broke her silence.
自分もあの事件にはどうにも引っかかるものを感じておりました。その背後にあるものがひなみ沢村のたたりにまつわる可能性があるというのならば、その正体を暴くことは例の衝殺事件に関する手がかりになるかもしれない。その意味での共同捜査は自分にとっても悪くないお話です。
そう言ってもらえると助かります。それに
Owishi and I are outsiders, you could say. Gathering information on whoever lives in this town and what's around the area just based on the data compiled in official documents has its setbacks.
私たちには残念ながら土地勘がありません。郷に行ってはの例えではありませんが、その状態で見当もなくむやみに捜査を行っても本来求めるべき正確な情報をつかむことは難しいでしょう。
そうですね。それにこの町の人は割と淡白な傾向ですから、普通に聞き込みをしても有効な回答を得るのは結構骨が折れると思います。
Investigating such a tight-knit community like Hinamizawa is a huge problem for law enforcement. People are fiercely loyal to each other above all, which severely limits the amount of information we're able to gather there. But, on the other hand, the atmosphere in the newly founded communities also has its own issues. Excuse me? Why is it cut, man? See that shit? They fonted it wrong. When people feel completely indifferent toward their neighbors, they might not pay enough attention to even know any meaningful information in the first place. There have been plenty of times where information gained from each witness is very ambiguous and in some cases even inaccurate.
あと、よそ者の刑事が好き勝手に捜査を行えば、そちらの刑事課さんにとってもいろいろと問題があるかと思います。ですから、まずは警部にご了解と、できればご協力もお願いしたいと考えた次第なのです。
なるほど。うちも一家はともかく二家は口やかましい人が多いので、お二人の捜査に難癖をつけることがあるかもしれませんね。それについては私の方で何とかします。
助かります。
とは言っても、例の事件はお隣の県警さんの管轄ですから。
Yeah, not in the right district.
所長黙認とはいえ、自分の方で越権行為を働いたことが後々問題になれば、逆に大石さんたちにもご迷惑をおかけするかもしれませんよ。
まあそのあたりは杓子定規に考えないで、広域捜査の一環ってことでお願いしますよ。ともいちゃんは腐っても警察庁の広域捜査官の肩書きをお持ちなんでしょ。
Kind of dissing there?
ですから私たちの捜査にちょいと口添えをいただけるだけで大助かりなんですがね。
腐ってもってのが
Yeah.
一言余計です。
Classic Oishi jab. Unsurprisingly, Chief Inspector Minai got irritated and pouted at Oishi-san sitting next to me. Nevertheless, for the young member of the career group, she had a soft demeanor and not a hint of pride.
わかりました。公安の警視直々と所長命令、それに他ならぬ
Big O, can't deny him, man.
自分にできる限りの協力はさせていただきます。
You love to hear it? I can't do it. It doesn't roll off the tongue, man. Is Madoka here, or is she like gone? I just assumed she was here.
大げさですよ。まあ、それはいいんですがね。ただ、
Tada? Tada? Creator of rants?
だったらなんでこんなにも大事なお話をこんなところでやるんですか？
Why are you dissing Angel Mort? One of the top cafes in Japan. The meme music. You'll love to hear it. Chief Inspector Manai kept her voice down, sticking to her professionalism, but held a hand to her forehead where a blue vein was emerging as she glared in rage directly at me? Bro, this was definitely a Wishi's suggestion. I just thought it had nothing to do with this. The location couldn't be helped, but maybe it was a little unreasonable. Even though the air conditioning was running at full capacity, that's why Wishi loves the place, man. Full blow air conditioning. It didn't stop the sweat running down my forehead. I wiped my face several times with a handkerchief. Even I, who took pride in the fact that I could tolerate nearly any situation, felt like having a complaint or two to the one who brought us here. Yep, good one, Oishi. This is Angel Mort, a family restaurant. Who the heck is that? Yo, is that... That's, Madoka's husband? Or fiance? Honestly, he's not that bad. I honestly, when I pictured him in my mind, I thought he was, like, really old. Like, he looked older, but he just... I mean, he looks old, but... It's not nearly as bad as I was picturing it. A man stood opposite of Oishi-san, Chief Yamokai of Kakuchi Station. He was the one who told us it's a famous chain restaurant in Okonomiya, but it also has a location in Kakuchi, and advised us to meet here. Dude, that part goes so hard. However, after a brief greetings and introductions at the front, the moment I stepped into the store, I began to seriously regret the decision. Most of the decor inside the store was your usual family restaurant fare, but aside from that, it was clearly not normal. First and foremost, the waitresses shot in costumes. They're cute. It seemed the cut was engineered to challenge the limits of ethics. Yo, that's a great line to describe clothing. It seemed the cut was engineered to challenge the limit of ethics, and they were so clearly designed to attract that crowd, it made me blush just looking their way. Oh wait, that's like a professional clothes reviewer. And the menu was shocking too. Inside I saw a colorful parade of girlish lacy sweets that instantly made my stomach churn. Excuse me, that looks delicious? Now you're being weird, Akasaka. And the majority of the customers in the store spent all the time staring at those two things. Sounds like a good time to me. In other words, this table with 3 men and 1 career-oriented woman sitting together was drawing a lot of weird looks from the surroundings. Okay, so Madoka's not here, but Chief Yamamoto is here. It is a weird crowd.
いや未来警部はこういう店その初めてで
ええ、初めてですよ。
We're vibing.
いけませんか？
Yes.
いやすみません
I tried asking that to smooth over the tense atmosphere, but it seemed to have backfired, so I lowered my head in shame. But even so, why should I be the one to apologize? And then, with timing that felt like pouring oil on a fire, a waitress walked over to our table. Hello. Oishi? Bido? My man's... he's living life, dude. You love to see it.
待ってましたよ。それは私と。
私です
Yeah. 2 Giga Chads. I love the voice. That could be a thumbnail too if we don't get a CG.
かしこまりました。
Ba 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 da 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 da. With no regards for the tense mood, Oishi-san turned his attention to the waitress holding the 2 massive parfaits, and Chief Yamokai, sitting across from him, rose his hand to signal her. The employees must be trained to be attentive. The girl in the frilly dress placed the 2 parfaits in front of them, without breaking a smile, then continued to smile as she walked away. Chief Inspector Manai and I felt so embarrassed we wanted to run away. It was a sight to behold. 2 filthy old men stuffing their faces into parfaits? Nothing filthy with enjoying some parfaits, okay? That's goals, dude. I mean... Oh man, imagine being an old man going to like a maid cafe. Sounds kind of fun though. Come on, come on. You need to learn to ignore public perception for shameful things as long as it's not bad. This is just, they're just vibing, dude. It's not too creepy.
噂では聞いていましたが、柿内のエンジェルモートにはこんなスペシャルメニューがあるんですね。こりゃ確かに食べ応えがありそうですよ。
量だけじゃなく味もなか
His voice is very unique. I like it.
私も勧められた時は半信半疑だったんですが、今ではすっかり常連になってます。
Bro, imagine having the chief police officer eating at your maid cafe. Honestly, take a picture, put it on your wall, and say the chief of police approves. Then you're cooking. After saying that, Oishi-san grabbed his spoon and took a bite. Then after a quick taste, he licked his lips and tapped his forehead.
この生クリームの濃厚な味。そして甘すぎず、しっとりと馴染んだアイスクリームが口どけも良くていい感じです。それに何より、この大きなイチゴがまたジューシーなことと言ったら。
Man's food pilled. Dude, if they wanted to really make this a party, they should have invited Kamata, man. He would love going to a New Angel Mort.
わかりますか。や
Oh my god, wait, hold on. This might be deep lore, so I'm not gonna say it until I look it up real fast. Oh, never mind. Ignore it. It's not deep lore. Actually, maybe just Google Aichi Prefecture strawberries. The top 10 best IG Prefecture farms with photos. What is the best strawberry in Japan? Okay, I was thinking of the Ammo strawberries. Which is, it was deep lore because we had strawberry covered almonds in our snack review for a anime reaction a couple episodes ago, and I thought they were talking about the same ones. I don't know if Ammo, where does Ammo strawberries grow? Okay. Information. But search Aichi? Nope. Okay. Anyways, we're too deep. Get me out of here. I'm trying to game.
なるほど。いや、そんな革命的な食べ物とこんなところで出会えるとは。私の世界もまだまだ狭いということですね。いやいや、私だってこの年になっても新しい発見の連続で毎日が心洗われる思いです。やはり時には自分の枠から出て違う環境に飛び込んでみるのも必要なことですな。
They're vibing. Can't make fun of this friendship. Party pooper. I mean, they are discussing something really important, so maybe it isn't an appropriate setting, but also party pooper. A deep, threatening voice echoed across Suishi-san and Shifiya Mokai's bubbly conversation. I turned to the source of that voice and immediately looked away. Not intimidated. That's true. Don't want any spies listening in. No spies are gonna be lurking at Angel Mort, let's be honest. Of course. Whoa, judgmental. So true. Breathing erratically and still struggling to refrain herself from shouting too much, Chief Inspector Manai verbally abused the two of them. Indeed, the parable was a strange thing to say, and then... Oh.
周りを見てみたまえ。私たちに関心を向けている気配を持った客が声の届く。
No, they're vibing. They're vibing, eating delicious sweets and looking at delicious sweets. I'm sorry. After Chief Yamotai said that, I carefully surveyed the people around us, and surprisingly enough, they seemed so engrossed in their conversations that they paid no heed to their surroundings. Moreover, the table that Chief Yamamoto selected for us was suitable in a blind spot relative to the other seats, so the table surface wasn't visible at all. Most of their conversations around us were about the cates and the waitresses' costumes, and they had strange accents and annotations. Excuse me, those are the otaku bros, and they're cool. Oh my god. So based. Yeah? Yeah?
ただ手に入れたのみで満足することなく、造形師の仕込んだ我々への挑戦を見事クリアしてこそ、フィギュアマスターへの道が開かれるのであります。
その魔改造ぜひ見てみたいなり。隠された秘宝を皆で分け合うのは同志としての義務なりよ。
So true. Their meaningless conversations went on and on like that. It obviously wasn't some cipher code. For the sake of my sanity, I'll pretend not to hear it. In any case, I could understand that Oishi-san and Chief Yamotai had given some proper thought to the situation when choosing this location. At least that's what I told myself. However, even as a man, I had trouble enduring it. For a young woman not acquainted with such a world, this place could be very well a living hell. Were those two truly the sort of people who could eat together comfortably here, or were their heads just full of lead? Which was it? They're vibing. You're too uptight.
どうしましたか、赤坂警視。
いや、別に。
すみませんね、赤坂警視。
Dude, the sound's good. It's so good. We're getting a full episode of this song. I approve. Oh.
たまには世界を広げるためにもこういうところに連れ出すことも一つの勉強かと思う。
こういう異世界で一体何を学べというんですか？
そりゃもちろん女性としての魅力とは一体何かということにつきます。これだけの男子諸君を引きつけ
Oh my god. I mean, true, but you can't say that out loud, man. Man hit him with the double Stridley. You're insane. This is how Madoka went over my heart. Ooh, that's a compliment. Oh, oh. Oh, don't say it. Don't say it. Ooh, man's risking his life over here. Truly worthy of the title Chief of Police. Chief Inspector Manai left in a huff, so I raced out of the store after eventually managing to persuade her to calm down. Oh, my music. Oh, never mind, it's back. Even so, I'll say it again, why should I be the one to do this? It's not fair. And by the time we made it back to our table, the two parfaits were completely empty. Seconds?
パフェ、
Oh,
もう一つおかわりしてもよろしいでしょうか。
いやいや、大石さん。ここに来て同じメニューを頼んで。
true. It's your first time here, you gotta mix it up a bit.
実はね、警部には内緒でしたが、おすすめのオプション
Oh,
サービスがあるんですよ。
what does that mean?
例えば。
ほうほう。うん。
Wipey wipey?
こんなサービスがあったんですか。
Oh god.
こいつでどんといっちゃいましょう。
What is it? They chocolate coat their strawberries?
では
What did that service entail? We'll never know, because they talk about this. They'll have them... That will have to be left to the imagination. But of course, seeing the way the two of them acted filled me with murderous intent.
私だって島じゃなかった。
Man,
こいつら
you're making Tomoe reconsider her whole life, man.
見ない警部、何か。
Bye bye.
いえ別に。
No! My son! We're time skipping. Thursday, June 30th. So 2 days later? The next day? Okay, 1 day later. The next day, the three of us were heading toward a certain place in Chief Inspector Manai's car. We were traveling to Kakuchi service area, the location where the nurse Miho Takano's burned corpse was first witnessed. The Kakuchi service area runs up the main highway, near the prefectural border. As we entered, I noticed a lot of vehicles parked in the vicinity.
結構な車の数ですね。今日って平日じゃありませんでしたか。
そうですね。今日は特にいっぱいのようですね。あっちが開いたかな。
Once Chief Inspector Manai caught a glimpse of an empty space, she carefully maneuvered the car into the spot. Then she shut off the engine and used the radio to confirm our arrival at the Kikuchi service area. As I crawled out of the back seat, I could hear the roaring voice of the cicadas in every direction, and I could feel the sunlight burning my skin. We back on? The strong early morning sunshine was beating down on the asphalt, gradually heating the surrounding air.
お疲れ様でした。何か飲み物を買ってきましょうか。
いえ、大丈夫です。
What?
それにしても
Always take a free
た
drink.
くさんの人がいますね。
I turned to the shops nearby and let out a sigh. Most of the people seemed to be men dressed like truck drivers, but some also looked like families.
ここは上りも下りも大都市との中間地点に当たりますからね。次のサービスエリアまで結構ありますし、ちょうどいい小休止の場所になっているんです。それに最近増築されて、食事処や案内所、ガソリンスタンドに郵便ポストまであるんですよ。
ポスト？一体こんな場所で誰が使うんですかね。ちゃんと届くんですか。
What that? He dissing?
さあ、自分もそれは。機会があったら今度試してみますよ。
After saying that, Chief Inspector Manai turned to the buildings beside us. There's a red post box there with the color faded from weather exposure.
他にもここのスタンドはガソリン税の地域差で高速道路
Ooh.
の隣の県よりも安いです、ね。
Cheaper gas is always good.
ここから先はしばらく給油できるところもないし、下り方面からの利用客で結構賑わっています。私も時々利用しますから。
そんなに違うんですか。
ええ、リッター7円も。
なるほど。
That sounded surprisingly frugal. I wonder if I'm just living a luxurious life. It's not bad. It's like, oh, it's different. Yen's more than cents. Wait, yeah, I don't know. Whatever. There's a small observatory standing on the edge of the cliff, a short distance from the main building of the service area. The wire mesh guard rails at eye level were unpleasant to look at, but I was able to see far off in the distance thanks to the high elevation overlooking an open space.
通報した会社員の話では、ここから山火事を発見したそうです。あそこの少し黒っぽくなっているところがその場所になります。
After saying that, Chief Inspector Manai pointed to the base of a far-off mountain. Indeed, it looked like a little out of place next to the surrounding greenery. Nonetheless, it looked like a black spot for staying unless you looked really closely.
しかし、その目撃者はどうしてこの場所から火事の現場を見ることができたんでしょう。ここって自動販売機の置き場や手洗い所からも結構離れていますよね。
I suddenly turned my head away and looked up. The outside lights were a little far away and hard to see. Even though it's pretty bright in the daytime, you wouldn't be able to see anything around here in the middle of the night. But despite all the trouble, why would someone take the time to park in the parking lot and visit this observatory? Little sussy.
訪ねてみました。それによると、用を足そうと手洗い所に行ったら掃除中だったので、我慢ができずここまで来てとのことです。
I mean, isn't this actually, even though it sounds sussy, it's true though, because I'm pretty sure the plan, Tatano's plan was just for it to be found naturally, right? They didn't plan for people to find it. Like, they didn't, like, fake people finding it, right? Could be wrong though, don't remember. Ew. Come on, Oishi. Chief Inspector Manai instantly reeled back with a confused expression and looked down at her feet. But as soon as she realized Oishi-san was joking around, her face flushed all the way to her ears and she began to shout. Classic. Good grief. After letting out a sigh, I turned toward the shops. Am I just overthinking an ordinary physiological phenomenon? Still, a small feeling that something was out of place remained, like a thorn in my side. It nestled in the back of my chest and wouldn't disappear. After a brief chuckle and lighting a second cigarette, Oishi-san nonchalantly cut in. After seeing that, Chief Inspector Manai turned to face him. With a slightly annoyed expression, she then cleared her throat. She opened the black bag in her hands and pulled out a document.
まず、先日大石さんから依頼のあったお隣の県警本部の鑑識報告が改ざんされていたかどうかの話ですが、ほぼ9割以上間違いがなさそうです。その中のラベル07の資料を見ていただけますか？
I took the files from her and carefully extracted the file with the clear 07 label on the front. You think this is a joke? Or a reference to 7th Expansion, the company that produced the game? Probably. Inside I found a copy of Mio Takano's autopsy report written by the forensic team. What the?
沢口署の松岡君が大石さんがおっしゃっていた鉛筆書きの資料以上に確実なやつを見せていた。
No, I thought it showed something, but I guess not.
くしゃくしゃに丸めてくずかごに捨てられたものを彼がこっそり保管していたそうです。
There were unique handwritten characters around the entry column. Among them, 2 items were surrounded by large red marks. Discovery time estimated 24 hours after death. An estimated time of death, June 18th, 10 o'clock. Nope, it's Takano memeing.
ゴミとして捨てられていた書類
Classic Tatana.
証明能力はありませんが。
その報告書には担当者以外にその上司である主任、そして鑑識課長の捺印があります。書き損じの書類に責任長がハンコをしたりはしないと思います。
なるほど。
Chief Inspector Manai raised a valid point. In other words, if the report before the rewrite was valid, the nurse Mio Takano, who was supposedly killed on June 19th, may have actually died on the day before, June 18th.
しかし高野美代は確かに19日の綿流しの当日、会場のあちこちで目撃されています。私も境内の警戒中、2度ほどその姿を見かけました。じゃあ私が見たのは彼の幽霊ってことですか？
Surely not Ghost Takana?
あるいは射殺されたのは高野美代以外の別人か。
Or the person they saw wasn't Mio Takano, but someone pretending to be Mio Takano. That was one of my first theories in Higurashi, because the first appearance of Mio in Anatatashi isn't at the Watanadashi Festival, but at the tour Mion and Ren are giving Keiichi, and they meet Tatano, but they don't show her sprite, they just talk to her. So I was wondering, why did they do that? Were they implying that when we first met Tatano, that's the real Tatano, and they didn't show the appearance, but when we see her afterwards, that's the fake Tatano or something? I don't know, my brain was thinking something like that.
ただしこの可能性は非常に低そうです。歯の治療跡などで遺体は高野美代本人だと断定できました。
でもそれって死亡推定時刻を改ざんした例の鑑識さんの見立てですよね。だったら少々信憑性の面では心もとないと思いますが。
True?
いえ、それにつきましては自分が直接確かめましたから、ほぼ沖宮の歯科医から取り寄せたカルテと照合して、これを。
They're fake records. After saying that, the chief inspector pulled some photos and charts out of her bag. A bit of a shock ran through me as I looked at the grotesque photograph, but I could clearly see 2 treated cavities in the back row of the teeth. And they perfectly matched up with the location listed in the dental records.
では、綿流しの番にいた高野美代はやはり幽霊だ。なんて言いませんよね。
まさかご冗談を。ただ死後硬直を遅らせる方法はいろいろとありますが、早める方法はあまり考えられない。ですから一日のズレを作り出したトリックを暴き出すことができれば、犯人像を絞る大きな手がかりになると思います。正式な管轄は沢口署になりますので大っぴらにはできませんが、この件では引き続き捜査を行うつもりです。
よろしくお願いしますね。
What the? Just then, I heard a ringing coming from Chief Inspector Manai's car parked around the corner. She leaned her body in through the driver's side window and grabbed the receiver, then came back to us after exchanging a few words over the radio.
どうしました？
はい、部下の藤田巡査部長。
Fujita, we haven't seen him, dude.
柿内市に住む南沢村出身者を
Oh, got them marked down.
これで最近10年以内に引っ越して
74?
74世帯全部裏が取れたみたいです。
That's a lot of Hinamizawans.
ですか。早いですね。
My eyes were open wide. I couldn't hide my surprise. Chief Inspector Manai had a bit of a proud smile on her face.
所長はあんな感じでアンポンタンですが、うちの署の人間はみんな優秀
What
なんで
the?
す。つい先月も本部長表彰をいただきましたから。
それはすごい。
A part of what I thought was amazing was how proud Chief Inspector Manai was of her subordinates and colleagues over herself. She seemed truly happy to boast about her co-workers and environment, rather than her own results and awards.
それにしても、どうして柿内市には南沢の出身者がこんなにも多いのでしょう。他の近隣の町と比べても結構な数があって少し驚いたのですが。
It is a lot of people, considering the small pop of Hinamizawa.
もともと柿内市は新興の住宅街ですから他地域からの流入が多いみたいです。それに加えてやはりこの高速道路が一役買っていると思います。
As Chief Inspector Minai saw it, worker families and households who felt inconvenienced by country life had a lot of incentives to move to Kakuchi City. First, the transportation network was good. The highway was well maintained, and the commuter rail line had many express stops, making it very easy to get home. On top of that, the land prices were rather reasonable. Though it had been growing rapidly in recent years, it was still an emerging residential area, so it was easy for people on a somewhat stable income to live well, especially compared to the center of a big city. And then there was job security. In a city growing to become a commuter town, you'd hardly run into any problems finding work, unless you were really strict about your profession and commuting distance. Thanks to that, it was a very attractive town for people leaving Hinamizawa village. Still, when the investigation in Otonomiya fell apart, and I had to find a backup candidate, this town was strictly the next logical choice, so I never expected to find such an excellent collaborator here. It was truly encouraging.
それじゃあ赤坂さん、早速そのリストを拝見しに参りましょうか。
ええ。見ない警部、お願いできますか。
了解しました。
I hope that this town, with its favorable conditions, would hold the key I needed to unlock everything. Well, probably not, but... Anyways, good epi. Had some fun meme moments, new backgrounds. We're investigating next time, I guess. White screen? What that? We're jumping? June, July. Where are we? I don't remember. Are we on July or June here? June. Okay, so day after. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully enjoyed. Fun episode as always. And next time we'll, I don't know. Maybe we'll change POV. Maybe we'll continue on with the trio's investigation. But either way, I'm sure it'll be a fun time. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subbed, consider subbing, liking, etc., etc. And I'll see you next time. Peace.